I was proud of our girls today, how they competed, how they fought. Beating a Big 12 team who's predicted to right now be a 8 or 9 seed in the NCAA tournament, beating them in the second quarter 24-15 and tying them in the third quarter, losing to them by 2 points in the fourth quarter, that we fought today. Coming off a long trip in Vegas, the travel, the time change, we have like an NBA schedule right now, so we haven't had a day off and I don't know how long. But I'm proud of the girls on how they fought and how they played, and we played in spurts, and I told them in the huddle on the court after the game is if we play like this against most opponents this year, we're going to be on the other side of the stick and with a dub. So I'm proud of Sav. Sav had food poisoning, didn't even practice yesterday, and she didn't play or practice today. First time she touched the court was when she played in the game. So she didn't even play or practice yesterday, didn't even eat anything, was just pretty much going off of soup and water. So, to her have a career night, I don't know. That's crazy what she just did. So I'm just proud of the girls, and I'm excited about us getting on to the next game.
When you talk about the fight, coming back from what was a fairly lopsided first quarter, and then, as you said, outscoring OU in the second, that resiliency, that fight, does that surprise you at all, or have you seen indications of that in your team through the first few games of the year?
No, it's just hard. OU came out, and if y'all know anything about them, they are number 1 or number 4 nationally in scoring. They don't shoot, but when the shot clock's under 25, that's like a bad possession. So it's hard to duplicate that or do that in practice because it's so different and unique. And so it's kind of like you got to kind of get used to it for a second and okay, this is what it takes. And so our girls kind of responded and resilient. Our girls have been resilient all year, though. They never they never use an excuse for anything. And so I was really just proud of them, the way they fought back and how we were down 10 at half and outscored them in that second quarter. But that's just our kids' mentality is like that.
What has it taken for you, Savannah, to have more of a scorer's mindset? Obviously that is the role that you have on this team. It is what you're needed to do. What has that process been like for you to accept that?
It's definitely been a change from like my old school where I was a role player. But credit to the coaches, when I came in, they just had confidence in me, and they just said, you need to shoot the ball, that's what we're going to need from you. And my teammates trust that I'm going to take good shots, and if I take a bad shot, I'm going to own the responsibility. So just having a good team around me is pretty much part of that and building my confidence back. So, yeah.
Coach, what is it about Sav that you trust? Because, she hadn't scored in the first, and then you put it in her hands, so she scores 13 in the second, and then she gets her third foul early in the third quarter, and you kept her in as well. What is it about her that you trust so much?
She's a competitor. She knows what it takes. They know my role. They come out the game if they get 2 fouls in the first half. So whenever it is, first quarter, second quarter, Jasmine Smith didn't play the whole second quarter. So, but she needed to touch the ball more, and that's what I recognized and ran a few things to her. And again, a lot of it was, we forced them into 26 turnovers. They had 26 turnovers, and we only had, I think that might be a season low with 13 turnovers for us. Like I told them, I'd rather a missed shot than a turnover. And so what Sav knows, she's a mismatch nightmare versus a 3 or a 4. If we get her in a sweet spot on the baseline, on the elbows and the slots, she's pretty much money, and we trust her with the ball.
Savannah, your coach shared that you weren't feeling well the last couple of days. At what point did you realize you were going to be able to give it a go tonight, and how did you muster this kind of performance when you've been laid out for the last couple of days?
Well, yeah, I was hugging a toilet yesterday, so that wasn't fun. And then I just spoke with the coaches and was just like, let me see the scout, let me watch the film and see how I'm feeling tomorrow morning. And then they were just feeding me like really bland food, soup, crackers, and I was just like, do you know what? If we want to win this game, I need to play. So I was like, I'm just going to put it out there for the team. Hopefully I keep it all down, so yeah.
Was there any point during the game tonight when you were out of gas and thinking of calling it a night a little early, or no?
Not calling it a night. I got winded. I can't even remember when it was, and I had to take a second on the court just to be like, okay, let me just make sure everything is okay, and then I was fine. But yeah, that was probably my only moment where I was like, oh yeah, I did have food poisoning yesterday, but other than that, I wasn't really thinking about it.
I'm sure you guys are just taking it a game at a time, but how does a game like this help you prepare for North Texas? They seem to be very offensively minded this season. You guys are obviously trying to find your way offensively right now. But just how does, seeing what you just saw prepare you for?
I don't know. I haven't watched North Texas. I'll watch them tonight, so I have no idea what they do. I don't know anything about them. I just know they're in Denton, Texas, and they wear mean green or whatever color. So that's all I know about them. Like I said, go home and flip out the film and start watching them tonight because we got to prepare the girls tomorrow. Watch some film on them with the team, have a scout ready, and be prepared for them to. But anybody we play, it's any scenario. It's about us. It's not so much about the other team. It's about us. We got to get better defensively. We got to get better rebounding. We have to do better things in the half-court defense. So it's not so much about the other team. I always tell the girls, just like against Arkansas, just like versus Seattle, just like Green Bay, it's about us. I don't focus on the other team. I focus on what we need to do well. Because I coach our girls every day of the year. I coach against a team one time a year, so one day a year. So we got to get better. We'll show them clips on what we need to do better, and then we'll run right into North Texas tomorrow. But our girls got to be mentally strong, move on to the next game, wash that out, but learn from it, and then move on.
Let's talk about you guys. Do you feel like you're a better offensive or defensive team right now?
Right now, we're doing a little bit of both, but you can always get better at defense. I'm just a defensive coach. We need to execute a little bit better in the beginning of that first quarter. I don't think we executed well. We seemed a little off sync, but we need everybody. You can't have one person rowing the boat forward and then 4 people rowing backwards or vice versa. Everyone has to be on the same accord, just like in an orchestra, anything. We got to be on the same accord. So we got to echo things. We have to repeat things. We have to know what we're looking for, know who we're looking for, know when it's a shot in the shot clock. We had little mishaps where we still are learning each other. Still chemistry needs to be built. We're only, 6-7 games in. So, like I said, I'm excited about the future and I'm excited about our games.
You talked earlier about the flip from the first quarter to the second quarter and the fight and resilience your team showed. But did you also make any strategic or tactical changes on either end of the floor?
No, they made 5 threes, and it wasn't because they just weren't being guarded. Our transition D had to be better. We had to understand that we had to pick up anybody on the floor. It wasn't just your man. So that's hard to prepare for because not many teams do that. They're scoring at a rate which is unbelievable. I think they average 87 points per game, and she obviously was trying to get there. She didn't take any subs out. So, but yeah, they're a good team. Like I said, they're gonna be a good team in that conference, and I'm just proud of our girls. And again, we're gonna keep growing every game and every opportunity that we have.
You talked about your excitement and optimism with this team, and you go to Denton having lost 3 of the last 4, but you played Oklahoma tough tonight. You stayed very close with, Seattle and Arkansas. Are those the kind of losses that you can build on and grow confidence out of, even though you didn't get the result you wanted, but is it the kind of performance that you guys can build out of?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone to Denton and lost any, so I'm not planning on either. But yeah, you just got to take things from each game, like this second quarter or this third quarter. And also, the bad stuff too, though, they're teachable moments. So the kids have to be able to be coached and take those teachable moments and learn from them, and then learn and remember and use that in the next game. And so I just want to go out there and play our best basketball like we did in the second and third quarter on Friday.
Savannah, after being laid out the last couple of days and then playing almost 34 minutes, how do you feel now?
Hungry.
Yeah, I bet you she's hungry.
That's about it. I'm honestly just proud of my team. We fought. It's a Power 5 school, so I mean that's a football term, but it is a Power 5 school. And the fact that we went out and weren't really scared after having that first quarter, we went out and said, you know what, we're going to stick with them and just fight. So I'm proud and I'm definitely hungry. So, yeah.